This is the Hidden Killers podcast with Tony Brueski.
Featuring author, psychologist, and daily contributor, Shavaun Scott.
It's hard to wrap one's mind around the lack of humanity that one could have to go through this, even if you are the victim of abuse. I mean, to not stand up and do something as your children are getting the crap beat out of them. That just seems even more bizarre, I think, to a lot of people. Can you shed some light on that?
I think that addiction changes people and it brings out the worst in people, but I don't quite buy into the idea that addiction completely erases moral development, you know? So I have seen a lot of people develop addictions, but they still have some kind of moral compass inside. It's not just the addiction. I think it can all go together with personality problems, abuse, throw in addiction, and you get this mishmash of bizarre behavior.
Obviously, Harmony was on the radar of DCFS. They had, contacted. They had seen her previously. Not a whole lot was done. We even have some people that testified from there. And then they kind of went off the radar, living in that car, and not a whole lot was done, even to look into, when she wasn't being accounted for. I mean, this seems to be, obviously, we talk about it all the time. There's a serious problem of, lack of people, lack of infrastructure to do anything to help these kids. I mean, when you look at this, how do you look at how she was failed by the system when she was popping up here and there, but nobody ever, I guess, did anything to rescue this poor little girl or rescue her for any longer period of time?
Yeah, it's an absolutely horrendous failure of the system. And the fact that, they can be called out, they do such a superficial, assessment, which was essentially nothing. And then, as you say, drop off the radar with no follow-up and not looking at who is this father in context. I mean, his history of violence was extreme, and he did prison time for shooting someone in the head.
Yeah.
Only 9 years for that, for a career criminal. And one would think that a social worker, if I were a social worker, I mean, just looking at who is this person, this is a person who should not be trusted raising kids. And, the fact that we don't staff these agencies and build that in is really, it's on all of us that we don't demand more change.
Was that an effect of viewing Adam as a proper parent versus obviously versus her mother or versus the foster home that she was in, which the foster mother seemed lovely. She was on the stand talking about it. She's heartbroken by everything. But to view Adam as a better parent than that foster parent, is that part of the, I would say corrupt, but the very broken system of the family reunification, where somehow Adam, even though career criminal, has been in jail for shooting someone in the head and God knows how many other charges, somehow that outweighed this woman who is there, has a track record of being a good foster mom. Adam somehow gets priority over that. That just doesn't add up in the land of reality.
Yeah, we like to think that the court is always looking at best interest of the child, but laws vary state by state. And I think that Adam's rights trumped Harmony's rights here. And that is an abysmal failure. It's absolutely horrible.
That seems to be that's an interesting point there, because that seems to be one of the big problems with the systems is it's these evil, corrupt, horrible, ill, whatever you want to call them, addict parents. Their rights seem to trump everything in situations like this. Over other family members, over grandparents, over foster parents, over anyone, that you get your kids back. Even though you've proven time and time again you're a horrible human being and the odds of this child having any semblance of a decent life are just not there. But because you have the DNA, we're going to just, here you go, good luck. Something's going to change this time.
Yeah, it's absolutely crazy. It makes no sense. I mean, again, you don't need a degree in psychology to see this. It's just any thinking person should be aware that if a child is in a stable foster home, they're better off than being with a violent drug addict who's abusive and beats his wife and the kids,
Yeah.
But we're not doing a good job. And as I say, I need to write another book on that topic. How do we improve the system? Because and the other thing is, how close was this whole situation to no one ever following up on Harmony? Harmony would just be the missing forever.
Yeah.
And how many times does that happen? My guess is many times that happens. And nobody's tracking it. Nobody knows how many dead children there are.
Yeah, I mean, had Adam not been able to be found in his car, I mean, had he just gone off the radar in another state someplace, it would just be another poster on the wall at the front of Walmart or something. And
Exactly.
that's where it would end. It's
I think it happens a lot, and that's absolutely horrifying. We need to do better in this culture.
Yeah.
Want to listen ad-free? Want advanced access to all of our interviews before anyone else?
Become a True Crime Today Premium Plus subscriber on Apple Podcasts.
You get every episode commercial-free.
So you can binge on true crime
Until you can binge no more.
Search True Crime Today Premium Plus on Apple Podcasts now, or go to our podcast page and sign up now.
More of the Hidden Killers podcast next.